Respected Shyam Sundarji, Comrade Maheshwarji, Comrade Balasubramaniam, our Staff Key Secretary, Comrade Shiv Gopal Misra, who was here with you to inaugurate this conference, and other distinguished invitees, guests, office bearers of the Bharat Pensioners Samaj, the delegates and the observers and the friends who have come to participate in this annual general convention, and my dear friends. I have been told, because of paucity of time, I should try to be as brief as possible. I shall try to be, though I am not very, what I say, in the Shakespearean words, brevity is the soul of wit. I cannot claim that acclamation for me, but I shall try to be. There are certain issues, so let me go without introduction, go into the subject which I wanted to place before you. And I hope that your convention, which will have a business session after this inaugural session, will consider those aspects, because I basically today, though I am the president of the working employees under the banner of the Confederation of Central Government Employees and Workers, I am a pensioner, basically a retired person, and naturally I have got my own personal interest in the pensioners organizations becoming strong, and I can't use the word militant because at the age of 60 and above, perhaps physical debilities are there, we cannot perhaps become militant, but at least we can definitely become determined over certain of the issues which we feel that it is good for us. Comrade, I am not going into the very many aspects, because why I am switching over to English is for one reason, because I can speak fast in that language. Second, Comrade Misra has already talked about everything that what you have got to know about from the functioning of the JCM. So let me, some of the issues I will be talking to you perhaps in a different language, that's all, but the content are one and the same. Comrade, you know very well that we should understand that the present attack on the pension and pensioners emanate from the policy perception of the successive government that has come into existence in our country from 1991 onwards. You know, a new policy was enunciated for the economic administration of our country from 1991. And whichever government that has come, we had so many types of government that came into existence afterwards, none of them have deviated from that position. I am not today going into the merits and demerits of that policy, because that's not our subject matter of discussion today. But one thing has become extremely clear, that this policy perception enunciates one important thing, that the large majority of the population of this country should suffer for the benefit of a few persons at the apex or the creamy layer of the society, or the corporate houses should survive and our economic growth or the prosperity will depend upon the wealth generated by them and not by the wealth acquired or benefited or utilized by the common citizens. My understanding of that situation is that. So if you look at it from all the decisions that this government has taken, you will find that it will fit into that particular prescription. Take the case of the new pension scheme, which was introduced in 1993. It was introduced by the then NDA government in 1993. But there is absolutely no differential perception as far as the NDA government or the UPA government which came into existence later. All of them wanted the new contributory pension scheme to be there. What is new contributory pension scheme? Today what you and I are getting, for which we are arguing, for which we are fighting, for which we are asking for improvement, all these things are going to be stopped forever for the people who have been recruited to the government service from 1/1/2004. And what is the purpose of that? The purpose is only, if I can tell it in one word, the very purpose of this thing is neither to arrest the outflow on account of the pension outflow that the government was telling that it was increasing over the years. That's not at all the reason. If you read the Gayatri Committee's report, which was set up by the 6th Pay Commission, you will come to know that that was not at all the reason, because she has established beyond any iota of doubt that the government will spend more money on pension under the new contributory pension scheme rather than the statutory defined benefit pension scheme which was in vogue. Then what was the reason? The reason was that today, millions of rupees are being collected from each and every employee, and also the same amount is being taken out of the exchequer, out of the taxpayers' money, and it is given to the mutual funds in our country who are going to invest it in equities, and the equities are owned by the corporate houses, So it is only to the finance the corporate houses that all this money goes, and they make enormous amount of profit, and one day they will become bankrupt and will go away, and ultimately the people who have contributed that money will be left in the lurch. This is what exactly that's going to happen. Those who have taken the decision in 1993, they are not going to be in existence in this world when the whole difficulty arises in our society, perhaps after 40 or 50 years of period of time, when the people will demand that what happened to my contribution. At that point of time, none of them will be in existence, and therefore they can always take any arrogant type of decisions which they have already taken, as you are aware. Now coming back to the position, because I don't have the time now to go into the very many aspects, but I want to tell you that before the 7th Central Pay Commission, we had been in a position to submit a common memorandum on behalf of the entirety of the working employees, as also on behalf of the entirety of the pensioners, because all pensioners organizations met together. You created a memorandum. That memorandum was handed over to us. We in the JCM staff side discussed that matter. Without much of an amendment, we submitted that memorandum to the government. We argued, we advocated the case, and ultimately the Pay Commission has given a recommendation which we do not say that it was in consonance with what we have demanded. But we found that when the Pay Commission's recommendation was out, that was the only one single position, one single favorable recommendation that this Pay Commission has done in respect of both the employees and the pensioners. Today, the pension department is now saying that it is not going to be implemented on the specious plea that it is infeasible. I only want to ask one question to them, and which we have asked them, for which we have never got any reply. According to their own statement, they say only in the case of 18% of the cases, which itself is wrong. In the case of 18% of the pensioners, they are not in a position to access to the record which will make it possible to be implemented. If that is the case, in 82% of the cases, the records are available. And a government which says that it is infeasible because in 82%